to The Laws of Life with Blanca Greenstein. I'm your host, Blanca. This is a platform specifically designed to help us all improve and be successful in life and in business. To learn from each other the laws of life, whomever we meet during our journey. I hope you find this connection beneficial and have a wonderful day. Good morning. Welcome to The Laws of Life. I'm your host, Blanca Greenstein, and today we have the founder of Successful Life Transitions, Miss Christine Catoggio.
Perfect.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Let me tell you, say that 10 times fast. See if you can do that. All right, well, it's the Friday before Memorial Day weekend. I'm sure everyone's excited. Do you have any good plans for the weekend?
Just to relax, that's it. It's
Just
going to
to
be
relax.
a rainy weekend, just looking to relax and chill out.
Well, we're excited to learn from you and your wisdom and your own special, unique brand of the laws of life. So first, tell us, what is Successful Life Transitions so our audience understands?
Sure. Successful Life Transitions, it's actually been through a number of transitions itself, and that's how it came to be. But it's we are a company that provides consulting services to corporations to provide speakers and programs and workshops about personal development subjects.
Okay, that's fantastic. So you're also helping these companies find speakers.
Find speakers as well.
Okay, that's wonderful. You know, finding speaking opportunities is not easy.
No.
One of the sponsors of the Laws of Life is Scott Major with Major Peruis, and he's a phenomenal speaker. He's written many books and many articles, so if you know of any opportunities for him to be a speaker,
That would be
let
great.
me know.
Sure.
Okay, so what about you as a coach? Tell me about that.
I am a life transition strategist,
Okay.
and I actually am in the process of rebranding to a midlife redesign mentor.
Oh, wow.
It's basically the same thing. It's just a shift. It's kind of defining my market a little more specifically.
So tell me, what are the kinds of transitions? What are the top types of life transitions?
Wow, there's so many. We're all in a transition at any time. But usually career transition
Okay.
is big. That is huge. Divorce, empty nest, and retirement. Retirement is a big one.
Is it really?
Yes, it's a huge transition. So many people have had careers, and all of a sudden they have nothing to do with themselves. What's my next step? They still have a long life to live and need something to figure out what to do.
So there are so many things to do, obviously. What do you advise? Let's go through each type, and maybe you can give us a few guiding principles. So
Sure.
some of our retirees that are watching, what's your advice to them on how to go through that transition?
Well, the first thing you need to do is figure out what you want to do with the rest of your life. A lot of people, think I'm going to retire and I'm going to golf and play cards. And then after, a couple of months, they're like, well, this isn't enough. So you really need to figure out what is going to make you happy. What do you really want to do with your life? And so I help walk them through finding their purpose and passion.
So you just talk to them, ask them a lot of questions?
It's a whole process. It's a very in-depth process that helps uncover their lost dreams and ambitions and the things that they liked to do when they were younger, and just kind of bring it all bubbling to the surface to help them rekindle the things that they're passionate about.
How often do you meet with your general client?
Typically once a week. Depending, there's different programs that we can put in place, but typically it's once a week, and depending on the extent of their commitment and how much they actually want to work with me, it can be 3 months, it can be 6 months. I have some clients that I have for a year, so it really depends on what they're looking to achieve.
And what about in the divorce transition? What do you see? What are you recommending to people going through divorce?
Well, there again, divorce is, it's every transition is unique to each person. So it's really, there's no template for it. So it really depends on the person, because some of them have family issues. They have their own emotional issues. So trying to decipher, where their attention needs to focus first. And it's really...
Give me an example of a prescription, so to speak. Obviously you're not a medical doctor,
Right.
You're not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, But what are you offering that's non-medical that that people need? What is it? Is it the patience? Is it the ability to strategize?
Well, that's clarity and direction. Clarity and direction is really what we try and focus on.
Okay.
Because when anyone is going through any type of transition, I always say they're stuck in the muck.
Mm-hmm.
They can't see the forest for the trees. You know, it's like they don't know what their next steps are or how to get out of the transition.
What's an example of someone that's gone through divorce? Take us through like a specific example of one of your clients that went through divorce, and what did you help them see, and what did they do?
Usually when a woman has gone through a divorce, and I work predominantly with women, has gone through a divorce, they have spent a lot of time taking care of someone else and taking on maybe careers or lifestyles that don't necessarily fit who they are. Mm-hmm. And so things aren't in alignment. So what we work on is getting them back in alignment. You know, a big part of, especially in divorce, is working on self-care, because we forget how to love ourselves.
So you're talking about basic hygiene, exercise, diet?
No, self-care is really, well, of course it includes all of that.
Okay.
But self-care is really, it's kind of like the golden rule. You know, we're taught to treat others as we would treat them, okay? Except we kind of switch it around, and it's the golden rule is treat others as you want them to treat you. And we forget to do that. Mm-hmm. And so self-care is really learning how to do that again, because we lose that part of ourselves, whether it be in a divorce or even, you know, in the loss of a spouse. Mm-hmm. We lose that part of ourselves while we're in those relationships. So we have to figure out who we are again.
So you're helping people sort of find their core values, their core identity.
My original program, RISE, that's what it's about. It's an acronym for Reclaim Inner Soul Energy. Mm-hmm. You know, reclaiming who we are at our core.
How many years have you been doing helping people with transitions?
Roughly, well, I've been through a number of transitions to get to where I am now, and each one of them has been a stepping stone. So it's about 12 years from the beginning.
So after all the people that you've coached and all of the experiences, what is your number one law of life on how to deal with a life transition?
My number one law of life, how to deal with a life transition, pretty much that covers the gamut. It's know your purpose, know why you're here, what you're meant for, what it is that you want to do with your life, and live that purpose.
That's what I hear. That's obviously a theme, is to understand what drives you as an individual, get in touch with it, understand it, and listen to that purpose.
Yeah.
Because if you're not inspired doing what you're doing, then you're not going to enjoy it, and people are going to know that. And it's sort of strange how the universe picks up on those clues, doesn't it?
Totally. The universe gives us all the clues along the way. We just don't know enough to pay attention.
When I pass by a billboard for the lotto, is that a clue that I might win? I keep hoping. What about like when they're feeling really down? Really, really, you know, obviously a lot of people they feel rock bottom emotionally when they go through the transition. Are you the person that they can also call during a rock bottom moment?
Yeah. There's a fine line between coaching and therapy, and I am not qualified as a therapist. So I have to, you know, just make that distinction.
Have you ever referred and said you need to do this because what you're able to give isn't at that medical level that they appear to need?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Because if I'm coaching someone and I see they're not responding, you know, a lot of times, especially in a divorce, they're very defensive. They don't want to do the work. And they really have a lot of other issues. And usually in our introductory session, we kind of work that out and peel the onion. And I can usually tell in that 30 minutes where they're at. And I have referred people out and said, you know, I'm not qualified to deal with you at where you are right now.
What's your personal law of life that keeps you so balanced and allows you to coach everyone else?
Well, find your happy. Find your happy, because there are days where we just want to pull the covers over our head and, trying to figure out what our next steps are, and we can really beat ourselves up. And if we can find our happy place, and it's not walking around like, Miss Sunshine all the time, but it's really, remembering all the things that we do have and all the positives in our life and giving gratitude for all those things. And that really helps us, it draws us back into the positive, happy mode. It's just, two emotions can't exist at the same time. So we have to, bring that emotion back inside.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
How do people reach you if they want to utilize you?
On my website, ChristineCatoggio.com. Do you want me to spell it?
We'll go ahead and put it out there.
Okay, perfect. Or they can find me on Facebook. I'm on social media. My Facebook page is Christine Catoggio as well.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, you've been a tremendous mentor to me and a great friend, and I definitely recommend that if it's in your budget and you have the ability to have this opportunity to strategize about your life, there is no downside.
There's no downside.
And life is an open book test, so this is another tool that we can utilize to learn more about ourselves so that we can be more productive, successful, and happy. Well, Christine, thank you so much for being with us today. And everybody, don't forget Successful Life Transitions, founder Christine Catoggio. I hope you learned something today. I know I did, and have a fantastic day. I hope you learned something today. I know I did. Thank you for watching The Laws of Life with Blanca Greenstein. And stay in touch and stay connected. Be well.